Hey, it's Bruce coming to you once again with WeedersDigest.com, and as you know, we like to bring new products to you. And today we're going to introduce one. I'll just turn it over to you, John Tucci with Lake Savers, and tell us what we're looking at today.
Okay, Bruce. Well, we're here to talk about another product to add to the toolkit for natural, sustainable lake and pond management, particularly pond and aquaculture type management. And it's a product that's designed to stimulate diatom growth in ponds. And we probably need to talk a little bit about why that's important and why that's desirable. But to date, what's important about this is that, to our knowledge, this is the only product. There's been a lot of scientific work over the decades to try and encourage diatom growth, not only in fresh water but in salt water, as a way of rebalancing aquatic systems. And not a lot of those experiments have been particularly successful. But we've actually found a product, we've tested it for over a year, and we've proven it in environment after environment that this mineral, literally mineral supplement to a pond can almost immediately, within 24 to 48 hours, stimulate increased diatom production in a pond or an aquaculture farm. And that's important because diatoms are the foundational base of the fish food chain. So if you've got more diatoms in your pond, or aquaculture operation, you've got more nutrients that are in the water and in the silt on the bottom of that pond going into the base of the fish food chain versus going into blue-green algae growth or filamentous algae growth or weed growth in the pond. So this is a way to use nature and biology to take the liability of excess nutrients that plague just about every pond and every aquaculture situation and turn it into a benefit of growing fish faster. The other neat thing about diatoms, and by the way, there's no diatoms in this bottle.
Right.
Nothing living in this bottle. It's really interesting. This is like a mineral supplement, like a vitamin pill for the pond or lake that gives the chemistry of the water the nutrients that diatoms need to form and grow and begin using the nitrogen and phosphorus that are currently being only utilized by blue-green algae and filamentous algae and other harmful forms. And as soon as diatoms are created, they get eaten. And they get eaten by zooplankton and some kinds of fish directly, but mostly zooplankton, those little tiny shrimp-like creatures that virtually feed all of the beneficial aquatic life in the pond, from bugs to small fish to even some larger fish. And so everything that a fish eats starts with something that ate a diatom for the most part, except for the stuff that you put into the pond to feed your fish. And we're not saying that for aquaculture applications or even some enthusiasts that are trying to grow big fish in their private ponds that you necessarily are going to stop feeding fish. But what you have to realize is that every time you put food into the pond for fish, you're actually adding nutrients.
Right.
That as it cycles through the fish and becomes waste, fish poop.
Say it nicely, yeah.
Fish poop. You're basically creating the conditions that's going to turn that aquaculture application or that pond into an environment where blue-green algae and filamentous algae and weeds can thrive. And so most ponds and aquaculture operations already have way more phosphorus and nitrogen in their system than they need to be in balance. This is a way to turn those nutrients that are already in the system into food for fish instead of food for weeds and algae. It's simple as that.
Which ultimately, as we've talked, creates it's a healthier feed and should create a healthier fish.
It's what fish in the wild eat.
Right.
So we're giving them more of what they would eat in a natural setting.
Now, when you say that it's like an additive or it's like vitamins, basically, I mean, that sounds kind of simple or kind of benign. I mean, the results, the facts, the data that you've got is phenomenal. I mean, you're really seeing some great results.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not just a simple additive that's going to make some improvement. You're really seeing some awesome
awesome results. And there's two things about it. Well, the first is the kinds of results we're seeing. 33%, 50% reductions in total phosphorus and
That's
orthophosphorus in the pond. Changes in percent organic matter in the bottom, which are also being helped by bacteria and enzyme additives. We've seen 2 feet increases in water clarity or more in some of the places that we've tested the product. And it is simple in the sense that, and if we want to get a little technical here, it turns out that silica is the limiting nutrient for diatoms in water. So you can have plenty of everything else they need, phosphorus and nitrogen and so forth, but if you don't have enough biologically available silica, they can't form their bodies. They can't form themselves the way they need to form, and they don't develop in the water body. And it turns out that it'd be great if you could just crush up some sand and throw it in a pond and stimulate diatom growth, but it's not as easy as that. What the developers of this product have really perfected is a way to create what they call bioavailable silica and other trace nutrients that when you pour this in water, it immediately becomes available to stimulate the diatom growth in the pond. And that's really a fundamental breakthrough in the ability to control the biology and nutrient chemistry of water. That's why we're so excited about it.
Well, I think one of the best things about it is again, the data and the testing that's been done. And we're excited about it, and I think that's one of those things where I'd encourage you, if you have an interest in it, and I'm sure you do want to know more, contact us. The phone number's there, the website's there, and let us, give you some of the data on it. And I think it's going to be exciting for people in this industry, really.
Yeah.
So.
Let's talk a little bit more before we wrap this one up.
Yeah.
About a couple of other things. And one is, this isn't a standalone magic bullet, although
Right.
we have used it and seen some good results in ponds that were literally doing nothing before we tested this product. But we are seeing definitely that you get an enhanced result in those applications where you're already doing many of the right things, like aeration or circulation and also using some of the other biological natural additives like bacteria and enzymes. So this is part of a systems approach to increasing the water quality and fish production in your pond or aquaculture operation. It really should enhance some of the investments that you've already made in tools like aeration and bacteria and enzyme treatment and that kind of thing.
So it can be a standalone solution. However, in most cases, you're suggesting it as an add-on to what is already working. This is really kind of bringing it to that next level of success in managing a pond or growing fish.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. But the other interesting thing about the product that does make it useful as a standalone product, if you're just starting with this. This may not solve all your problems by any stretch, but if you want to get started with a natural approach,
Right.
this is a good place to start because of the fact that diatoms not only use a lot of nutrients very efficiently, but they also increase or give off more oxygen than they need through their life cycle. So they actually increase DO biologically, or dissolved oxygen biologically, in a pond or a lake, and we've measured this. Not just in lakes that already have aeration or ponds that already have aeration. We've measured increases in dissolved oxygen from the top to the middle to the bottom of the water column after just 3 or 4 weeks of starting to dose with NuAlgi in a pond that was quite literally pea soup green when we started.
Dramatic results.
Yep.
So again, contact us for more information and we'll be happy to tell you about it, and maybe you want to give it a try. So John, thank you very much.
Thanks, Bruce.
All right.